appropriate band to lead into our next segment, the Amps. Welcome to the Mornings with Ed show on the Voice of Laguna, straight up at 11 o'clock. Delighted that you're with us on an absolutely gorgeous Thursday. Warmer than usual, but not as humid as it has been the last several days. We're delighted to welcome our guest this morning, Tristan Miller. You know her, you love her, you can't live without her. She's with the Laguna Green Businesses. We know her, love her, and can't live without her. And I am imagining that Laguna Green Businesses is now expanded all throughout Orange County. Is there an Irvine Green Businesses?
There definitely is.
Okay.
And the program dates back over 8 years. And last year we celebrated 10 years as a nonprofit, but the Green Business Program actually started in 1996.
Wow.
This is a lot of history. Right. We've helped a lot of businesses.
You've got an event coming up next Tuesday, the 11th. It starts at 9 o'clock. I want to talk about that, but I want to introduce our guest from the ranch. Again, one of those you know, you love, you can't live without stories. It's Kurt Bjorkman. Good morning, Kurt. How are you?
Good morning. I'm fantastic. I'm so excited to be here talking to you, Ed and Tristan.
And just in the off the air 5 to 6 minutes that I was listening to you guys go back and forth, it's a learning experience. It's a learning experience with everything sustainable. Kurt, you're now installing solar panels at home.
At home, yep.
And I learned
solar at home.
All right. Well, congratulations
Thank
there.
You. Yeah.
Yay.
All right,
Excited about that.
Yes. And the ranch itself, the hotel, the resort property here in Laguna, it is magnificent. It is the first. Am I wrong about this? It's the first Southern California hotel to achieve innovator level green business certifications.
That
right?
is correct.
My God.
It's a huge achievement.
Yes. And is it much more expensive to go the green route?
No, it used to be. I think, 10 years ago,
right.
It was probably, you saw some higher costs, mostly on supplies, the green supplies, bottled waters being, aluminum
right.
or sourcing sustainable seafood. It was more expensive, but it really isn't anymore, especially if you really manage it and watch it and look for the opportunities. And there's a lot more resources today on, from Tristan and Surfrider and different organizations that really help you source the right thing. And these companies now are growing at scale. So in the past, an aluminum bottle of water would have been kind of a novelty new item. Yeah. Now it's like you see them everywhere, and the cost is about the same as a plastic bottle. Right. So the costs that's not a reason not to do the right thing anymore.
Right. So it doesn't cost more to save the planet.
It does not.
Right.
No.
Okay. And some of the things that you see, Tristan, that they're doing right at the ranch.
They are doing so much that is good for their guests, that's good for their employees, because being sustainable is really advancing what you're doing so that you can sustain your operations.
Right.
And it's really looking at everything full circle, from how you conserve water to what do you do with your organics. They have a farm. They're picking flowers locally from their farm. They're thinking about the canyon they're in. They're thinking about the coves that we all love. Right. And so they are using non-toxic cleaners, which is better for everybody, guests and employees, because some of these cleaners are seriously dangerous. They're dangerous to the ecosystem, to seals and whales and all of those things, and they're dangerous to us, causing eczema and lung issues and all those kinds of things. So it's really great that these products clean. They're just as powerful. They disinfect, but they're green.
Right.
And when we think about them, going into our water system, these are non-toxic. So those are things that they're doing. They also are thinking about water conservation by having aerators installed in a lot of their faucets, and they are also thinking about LED lighting, which on average, saves 15 to 30% on your energy bills, and that's pretty immediate.
And that's bottom line for you. You know, that is absolute bottom line for the property.
Absolutely. When the two converge, savings and doing the right thing, it's a win-win. Most of these, a lot of the sustainability initiatives that we're trying, at the end of the day, do help with the bottom line. And we're really fortunate the location we have. We're not every hotel has a canyon with acreage that you can put a big farm and a massive compost pile and reclaimed water or crushed sand, all the things that we do. It's unique to where we're at, But at the end of the day, there are so many things you can do to make a difference. Like for instance, this should be what everybody's doing, but aeration on the aerators on the water faucets, that no one really notices the difference. Low flow faucets, low flow shower heads, aeration on the faucets. It saves you a lot of money, right off with your utilities. Water's not getting any cheaper, and it's a limited resource. So why not do your best to just try to, and you go to a lot of places and you turn on that faucet and it's just like, it's a massive flow of water, and it's hard to understand why people don't just put that little aeration thing. Some of it comes down to just, the owner or the manager doesn't realize that maybe was there and it came off and no one fixed it.
And when you think about like 100 sinks and you're saving a gallon per minute, plus they have the same experience of washing their hands. It's the same, and it's actually evenly distributed. So, and they're doing other things like switching those room keys to bamboo keys. People are returning the bamboo keys now instead of where the plastic keys weren't putting that all together.
They were disposable, like all plastics are.
Throw that away.
Exactly.
Yeah. Good point.
So I'm going to hold this up, and since I became a green business, I've used exclusively this. Am I okay doing this?
Yeah, look at that. It's Safer Choice certified. It's by a third party. It's verified. And, the recent sustainability stats show that over 79% of consumers trust when you have a third-party certification, and that's why we do this. So it's on the cleaning products. You can even have a certified building that's energy efficient. Indoor air quality can be certified. So there's lots of ways to get the certification. Even the whole hospitality industry now has certification. You are Beyond Green, Kurt.
We are. Yeah, we're part of the Beyond Green collection of hotels. There's about, I'll get the number wrong, but it's just under 70 hotels worldwide, from South America to all over Europe, Asia, Mongolia, and so these collections meet very strict standards based on the Paris Accord, the Paris Climate Accord, which our Beyond Green kind of president actually helped draft and signed. And so it's not just like a checkbox, like, oh, you use plastic water bottles, you're in the program. It's a several week inspection, 1,200 questions. They come in, they look at everything, the chemicals, they talk to the team, they just kind of wander your property trying to find what you're doing right and what you're doing wrong, and you're re-inspected every 3 years. And if you don't pass or meet the criteria, then you're out of the program. And being in the program is a significant benefit for us, because it's not only a validation of our efforts, but also it's a marketing, big marketing opportunity.
Are there incentives to that you can no longer take advantage of since we pulled out of the Paris Accords?
No, we still go by the same standards. That's what I think. A lot of yes, we federally pulled out of the Paris Accords.
Right.
It doesn't mean anything to companies who are really in it. They're still doing it. It didn't mean we have to. Oh, thank goodness, now we can start. Killing rabbits. It's like
Elmer Fudd at his best. And I did, for those listeners that didn't see, I did hold up a bottle of Simple Green, the all-purpose, and it cleans pretty well too.
And founded, I can't remember the name, but founded by a local company. Founded by I used to see him all the time at the Harbor House in Sunset. He's nice guy. I can't remember his name either. Thank you.
Thank you.
Thank you so much. So your event this coming Tuesday happens from 9 to 11 in Irvine. Where specifically is it?
So the event is called the Sustainability Transition Green Strategies for the Future, and we are partnering with the City of Irvine's Economic Development Division and Sustainability Division, but the program is open to all California businesses and nonprofits. So come to Quail Hill Community Center in Irvine. You can also find out about the event by going to the City of Irvine, and maybe we can post a link as well. But it's a great discussion showcasing restaurants, consulting firms, a new medical device company. How did they? Spiro Medical.
Yeah.
How did they get green? Because we meet you where you're at. So this program, you don't need to be green to register. So you can go to greenbusinessca.org. It's completely free in member cities, Irvine, Costa Mesa, Laguna Beach. We have programs in San Diego, Carlsbad, Long Beach, Los Angeles, all across California, and the program is in 10 states. And we are here to serve the the businesses and nonprofits. And they are doing important things for our community, our economy, all of those things. And so we want to be there to help. We help them look at what strategies they can implement, what they could also do. And the cool thing is we have an entry-level program. It's only 15 to 17 steps. Okay. We also have a larger full certification, which is more, sometimes 40 to 50. Right. And then innovator level, which the ranch achieved, which is, 4 more in-depth measures. Right. And so we give businesses options. We give them access to grants and rebates, and many of the Laguna Beach businesses, including galleries, have walked away with $1,000 to do energy efficient upgrades. They've gotten money rebates to purchase green products, to purchase energy efficient computers. So we cover all 32 sectors: universities, boutiques, consulting firms, auto repair. We also do that. Wow. Nail salons, we cover the gamut, and we are here to help businesses and support them and walk them through the process, because they want that path. They want the path to green their community.
I got to be honest, and being a green business is a huge advantage, and I've discovered that advantage since becoming one, and thank you very much for that.
Sure.
I want to talk about Spiro Medical for a second, and we're going to learn the answer on Tuesday, but you probably already know the answer.
Please come. The event is free and includes breakfast and networking, and I'll be there.
Okay. Trishna Dave is is going to be the representative.
Yep,
for
she's the VP of Operations.
And as I was getting this ready this morning, I was thinking to myself, how does a medical company become green? And that must have been an effort for them, and I imagine there are expenses involved. But like Kurt was saying, when you weigh the differences, it's not that expensive. It doesn't turn out to be that expensive.
It really isn't. And they lease their office, so a lot of property managers already are doing sustainable steps. Right. For example, the Irvine Company already had paper towels made with recycled content. They already had faucets that were low flow because it makes sense for them. Right. It saves them money. And they're cleaning. Their whole janitorial service used green certified products. Waxy Maxi has a whole line of them. They're all really affordable. They're concentrated. You can use them for a long time, and so they had a lot of that going for them. And then they just had to up their game on a couple of areas, and we knocked that out in a couple of meetings. The meeting's like 30 minutes to start with, and with the ranch we did a couple of follow-up things, but they really embraced it 100%.
So Kurt, at the ranch, the housekeeping department, for instance, what are they using to clean the tubs?
Well, we use a non-corrosive organic cleaner, and I believe we get it through Waxy as well.
And Autoclur, you also use them, and a lot of them carry lots of different lines, but you need to check which one is green certified.
And as Tristan mentioned, using those chemicals isn't just good for the environment, it's good for your team, because as we're finding, these toxic chemicals that have been in products for generations have always, oh no, it's fine, it won't hurt you, but it does. And so reducing the exposure to toxic chemicals to our team is a really big important factor in when we make decisions on what's working and what's not working.
If you look 10 years down the road, what additionally would you like to see on property? Everyone's installing EV chargers everywhere. I know you already have.
We have 4 EV chargers, complimentary to our guests. We don't charge for that. I think, technology is going to kind of probably open some doors to some areas that we don't even know are coming our way. Things that people are working on that could be really cool with energy savings and power management. Eventually, I would like to look at solar for the ranch, solar and battery storage, because as you know, here in Laguna, when the power goes out, it gets, especially in a hotel, no one likes that to happen. So, and I have the opportunity to work with Tristan on their solar program and battery storage program. So we're going to be talking about that. Additional ways to, the way we look at sustainability is like a 3 legs of a stool. Is, you have your sustainable efforts, you have your community, which are people, and then you have people including team members and your local community, and then you have your culture. So it's not just about saving the environment, which is probably the most important part, but it's really preserving the culture that has given you the opportunity to be who we are. Our unique location in that canyon, the history that goes back thousands of years with our original
the topography of
Yeah.
that area.
yeah,
Right.
exactly.
Right.
And so so really preserving that culture is super important to us. The vibe of Laguna Beach is obviously very important for us to remain authentic and local, and not just a corporate monolith that
Right.
says things but doesn't do things.
Right.
Yeah.
When you were talking about aerators in the bathrooms and aerators
Yeah.
in the sinks and stuff like that, I thought of the golf course.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
how do you work that? How do your greens stay so green, and
Yeah.
how do you take care of that?
Yeah, that's a huge question and a really important one. So we're on reclaimed water.
Right.
So the golf course, the hotel grounds are all irrigated with water that's been treated at the Sakwa water treatment facility that's in Aliso Canyon.
Right.
What happens is when you wash your hands, that water goes into a drain. It then gets sent to the Sakwa Treatment Center. They built a separate filter system, so it's a secondary filter beyond what the normal filter is. And I'll go like a little context.
Please.
In the past, before that filtration system was built by South Coast Water District in Sakwa, in partnership with ourselves and a lot of other end users, the water, any gray water, wastewater, would be treated to be at a somewhat safe level.
Right.
And then it goes out a pipe about a quarter mile off of Aliso Beach.
Right.
Yeah.
And that includes the Laguna Canyon, the creek that runs through Laguna Canyon. That water during non-rainy seasons is captured in a big culvert, sent to the wastewater treatment facility, and in the past it would be treated and then just
Dumped into the ocean.
into the ocean,
Right.
right? So the
And
high
not serve a
TDS
purpose.
levels, solids, it's
Yeah.
clean technically, but
Right.
it's not good for the ocean.
Right.
It's just
No.
fine. So now, over the last almost 10 years, that new it's like a triple reverse osmosis system. If you ever it's worth a tour. It's like going
Let's
to
go.
it's like
yeah, I'm there.
It's not the Willy Wonka chocolate factory, but it's just as fun and exciting. I took the team there a few years ago to look at this system because it's an amazing technology. But that water then gets put through the system, and then it's very usable for irrigation. It's really close to being drinkable.
Right.
It's non-toxic, non-corrosive, but it's water that would have gone out to the ocean, and now
Been
we're
wasted.
using it on
Right.
our golf course and our hotel grounds. We save over 20 million gallons of potable, which means drinking water a year.
Right.
Wow.
It is unfathomable to me that if you have the option of using reclaimed water and you have a golf course and you don't, you should close.
Thank
Seriously,
you.
you
Thank
should not be operating a golf course in the state of California. Now a lot of places don't have that option yet.
Right.
But if you do and you're not doing it, you're making a big mistake. And Orange County is a leader in this. Orange
Yes.
County really, the orange or the purple pipe,
Right.
Yeah.
that was invented here in Orange County. That was created in Orange County through the various wastewater treatment facilities. So we have a lot to be proud of in our wonderful county. But that is like huge for us to be able to say that we're not wasting water. We're
Right.
actually saving water that was used that would have been just dumped
Just
in
dumped
the
in the
ocean.
ocean.
Yeah, and that wouldn't have happened unless the ranch stood up and said, "We want this." They are a stakeholder. Businesses too can start to ask for the things that they need
Right.
in their community. So it's kind of a full circle moment
Yeah.
when that happened,
Yeah.
where you were part of making that happen with other
Right.
businesses
Thanks.
and
A
clients.
thanks to the ranch, a thanks to you for that lesson just now. And if there is a tour, I've got to be the one that says, "But
Let's
Father,
go."
I want a Oompa Loompa too."
Yes.
You mentioned
We wanna
Willy
see it.
Wonka. I can't
Yeah.
stay away from it now. So some of the other speakers that we'll be seeing on Tuesday, I talked about Trish Nadave from Spiro Medicals, and you've got, is it Celine Delafontaine from the city of Irvine?
Celine.
Tell us
She's amazing.
Tell us about their involvement, the city of Irvine's involvement.
Well, the city of Irvine, the program is run through the sustainability division, the Green Business Program,
Right.
but they also offer so many others. They put on Earth Day every year. They offer the Osego Solar Program that helps residents, businesses, HOAs, nonprofits go solar, add EV chargers, add battery storage at discounted prices by vetted contractors. So they also offer that program. They're very involved in how do we divert our waste and supporting businesses and residents and our organics recycling ordinances, plus energy. They're getting those EV chargers installed. They're looking at ways to have sustainable transportation and also for the city to operate more sustainably. All those amazing, community centers and the great park, all sustainability is being woven through everything that the city is looking at doing. And she is their, energy strategist and just brilliant person. I've been so lucky to be on a couple of different panels with her, so you don't want to miss hearing what Celine has to say. And plus, we're going to be making some exciting announcements about the new Center of Innovation and Entrepreneurship that the city is putting together. And so there's going to be tons of opportunities for startups, lending opportunities, co-working spaces, training, and we can all get involved.
Amazing.
It sounds like Irvine is really the example for the other 33 cities here in Orange County. Do you see a disparity in like Irvine is top, and then there's other cities that are just not on the ball
Well,
yet?
I think that, like, for example, the ranch, they are more than happy to share the knowledge that they have.
Right.
They're more than happy to show how other businesses, because I see Kurt constantly, extra time out there speaking at events, showing businesses, being parts of interviews like this, and it's similar with Irvine. They are able to share knowledge, but they've also met with other cities to learn from each other. And so I think more of our cities need to spend time and really be dedicated, because it does benefit not only the community, the residents, the businesses, but their own agency. They
Right,
save tons of
right,
money. A lot of
right.
cities are facing budget issues. And when you have a sustainability practice, you can pivot.
Yeah.
You can find new ways to reduce costs. And so I think it's very worth looking at what all the cities are doing. There's so many exciting things going on throughout California.
The event is called the Sustainability Transition Green Business Strategies for the Future. It takes place Tuesday from 9 to 11. How do we become a part of this?
Yeah, it's at Quail Hill Community Center, and you can go to the City of Irvine website and click on sustainability or the Economic Development Division, and the event is right there. And you can free RSVP, free breakfast, lots of networking. Plus, we're having a resource fair featuring all kinds of different resources for businesses and residents.
Okay. And before I go, either one of you have anything left to say? Did I leave anything on the table?
I just want to invite any business who, you should, I encourage you, if you haven't thought about upping your sustainability game, being greener, to contact Tristan, because we are and continue to be very proud of what we do. But like Tristan mentioned, she meets us where we are. And so we had all these great things we were doing, and Tristan came in and met with us and our team and identified other areas where we can improve. And that's the cool thing, is that if you don't know, you don't know. And so it's an amazing process to go through, because it's like these simple things that you can do to make a big difference, make a big change. And you don't have to have an 87-acre resort with farms.
Right,
And
right.
If you're just a small business, don't think that by simply making a small tweak, like switching from plastic water bottles to aluminum water bottles,
Which I'm doing this afternoon.
all right, or a refill station, even better.
Yeah.
These things they add up.
Right.
They make a big difference. So don't think that your small efforts aren't worth it. You're like, oh, it's not a big deal because I'm only, I got 20 waters a day, no big deal.
Right.
No, it's a big deal. It adds up. And so call Tristan. It's a great program. She makes it easy. She's also super cool and a lot of fun.
Yeah.
And so
Right back at you.
And I'm gonna just, before I let you go, just
Yeah.
something really quick that's happening here in the city. The city is now discussing adding a couple of EV chargers,
Right.
a fast charger and a regular
Let's go.
charger, regular speed charger. If you wouldn't mind, and you're able to, break down the cost of a per charger unit at the hotel if you were to add a
Oh.
speed one and a non.
Right. Well, we don't have the
Very.
speed ones. The
Okay.
speed ones are a little more technically difficult
Yeah.
because of the power required.
Okay.
In the amount of amperage that's required to feed those. And that's what the city is dealing with, the cost for that, because you're talking about undergrounding utilities. So the actual charger itself, not expensive.
Okay.
$1,000, $3,000, depending on the kind you're getting.
Right.
They're not expensive. It's the infrastructure to get that power to that station. And there's
Okay.
a lot of there's permitting. There's
Right.
does it meet CEQA? What all the things that happen?
Right.
That's where the costs get kind of like questionable. As it shouldn't cost that much. There shouldn't be so much red tape. If you want to put an EV charger in your city, I think there should be like little doors open for you to make that happen quicker.
Yes.
Right.
That's not the reality in this state or even in the country. You've got a lot of different regulatory requirements and permits, all there for the right reason.
Right.
But those sometimes really put a hamper on people trying to improve things. So the city going through, putting chargers in, that was a 40-minute conversation at city council on Tuesday night.
Right.
Of just like how complicated this is.
Right.
It shouldn't be that complicated to do the right thing.
Right.
Yeah.
Red tape is everything it's drawn up to be. Everything.
Yes.
Yeah. So thank you for that. Tristan Miller, Laguna Green Businesses, Kurt Bjorkman at the ranch. Thank you both so very much for being here. The event is the Sustainability Transition Green Business Strategies for the Future, Tuesday from 9 to 11. If you're looking for more information, buzz me here at the station. Thank you to both of you.
Thank you, Ed.
Thank you. Let's go.
All right.
Let's go.
11:26 the time. It's the voice of Laguna.